What's going on, everyone? So I wanted to make this video because I've been getting a lot of DMs lately around one single problem that it seems like a lot of people are struggling with. And I think it's a really important subject that we should talk about. And that is the subject of realistic expectations when it comes to timelines in college recruiting. So when you hear me say realistic expectations, a lot of parents are immediately going to jump to talent expectations, like a D3 caliber player trying to go D1. Those would be unrealistic expectations, which is true, but those are unrealistic expectations regarding talent. And the specific problem that I want to talk about, because I've been getting a lot of messages about it, is the unrealistic expectation of timelines and how quickly things are supposed to move in college recruiting. So I've been getting a lot of messages from families who are saying, listen, we've emailed a coach 1, 2, 3 times. They've responded, they've shown interest. It's been a month and we don't have a scholarship offer yet. And I just wanted to say on the record, as someone who has quite a bit of experience in college recruiting, who is working with hundreds of athletes across more than 10 sports, juniors, seniors, and everything in between, that's normal. Like, you're probably not going to get an offer after 1 month of light communication with a college coach. And I think that there is this overwhelming aura around college recruiting, and I mean this in the nicest way, but it also just has to be said, of entitlement, that you or your kid is somehow entitled to a scholarship from a college coach. And that is just not the reality. Like, a college coach is not going to give you or your kid a $50,000 scholarship after 2 emails and seeing your kid play on video 1 time. Like, that is just not going to happen. That wasn't going to happen 2 or 3 years ago before the transfer portal completely blew everything up, right? That wasn't going to happen 2 or 3 years ago. It's definitely not going to happen today, because with the transfer portal, things are slowing down anyway. College coaches are wanting to evaluate players for a longer period of time anyway. And no, that's not a license to start later in college recruiting, because they still have to evaluate you for a long period of time. So even if you prolong it 3 or 6 months, it's still going to take 3, 6, 9 months for them to evaluate you. So it's not a license to start later in the process, but what it does mean is that you are going to have more conversations, more touch points with a college coach before they actually give you an offer. And I think that there is a sense of entitlement thinking that you should get a $50,000 scholarship because you've been watching your kid wake up early and go to practice early and stay late and take extra reps and study for tests and do homework and all those really good things, but that doesn't necessarily, give you the right to just get a $50,000 scholarship. And I think that really what this comes down to is a misunderstanding of the level of work and effort required in order to get the kind of interest and offers that a lot of families want. And that was sort of a mouthful, but I'm going to say some version of that again because I need you to hear it. And that is that a lot of families underestimate the amount of work and effort required in order to get the kind of interest in offers, the amount of interest in offers that the family wants. Now, sure, if you just want a little bit of interest and an offer or two from just a very normal school that you are sort of cool with, but it's not high on your list, then by all means, you don't have to do a crazy amount of work or effort. Of course, it depends on your kid's talent level. Maybe you will, but you might be able to skate by with not as much work or effort if that's the case. But if you want the kind of interest and offers that a lot of families want, like 3 of them, like 5 of them, like 10 or more of them from very strong and competitive schools, then it is a ton of work and there is no way around that. It's not. You cannot expect to send 3 emails to a coach with a video and have them see your kid play 1 time in person and expect the red carpet to get rolled out for you. It's just not going to happen unless your kid is an elite athlete. And if they are, you will know because college coaches will be barging your door down right now, right? And so I think for a lot of families, it's just understanding the level of effort required. You are probably going to need 10 or more touch points with a college coach before you get an offer. A touch point would be an email, a DM, a text, a phone call, a visit, right? All of those would be touch points. I'm going to say a bare minimum of 10. And for a lot of players, depending on how early or late you are in the process, like if your kid is young, it might be way more than that, 15, 20, 25, right? Because they're going to recruit for a longer period of time. If your kid is a senior, then sure, you might be recruited next month. You might not have, 20 touch points. It might be 8, 10, 12, something like that. But the point is that this idea of, oh, I can just send 3 emails and I'm going to be fine is not accurate. And part of the reason that I wanted to talk about this is not because I wanted to yell at you as a parent saying you're not doing enough. No, that's not why I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about this because what ends up happening is that families think it's supposed to move faster than that. They think they're supposed to have an offer after 1 month of talking to a school. And so when that doesn't happen, they start to believe that they are doing something wrong, that they are doomed in the process, they are heartbroken, they are completely overwhelmed, right? And they just feel like it's not going their way, when in reality, they might be on a very normal trajectory, and the only thing that is off is their expectations of how quickly things are supposed to move. And so I wanted to talk about this because there's so many families, I think, who are driving themselves insane, thinking the process should be moving faster than it actually should be. And by all means, for sure, if you're not doing anything in the process, then it will go slowly. And that does mean that you need to kick it into gear. If you're only contacting 10, 15, 20 schools, if you make 1 3-minute highlight video, if you post on social media once in a blue moon, you're not going to get a whole bunch of interest and offers. It's just not going to happen. You need to put in a lot more work. I understand the recruiting process is like a full-time job. That's why we're in business completely. I get it, okay? I really do. But it's not a license to just be like, well, I guess hopefully we'll just sit around because Jack said we can just wait for, it'll take longer than a month, so we can just wait. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're putting in all the work required to get interest and offers, you still need to have a little bit of patience, right? Because just the timelines with college recruiting, especially with what's going on in the transfer portal, you're going to need to wait a little bit. Coaches want to see players not just 1 time or 2 times or 3 times. They want to see dozens of videos. They want to see you in person multiple times. They want to call your coach. They want to talk to the kid on the phone. They want parents talk to you guys on the phone. A lot more coaches are utilizing Zoom. Like all of that stuff is going to happen in like 80 to 90% of cases. And so don't get disheartened if you don't have an offer after a month. That's normal. It would be actually abnormal for it to happen that quickly. Does it happen that quickly for some families? Yes, if your kid is elite. But for most people watching this video, your kid is probably not elite, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you can't get a lot of interest and offers or offers from great schools. That's not what that means. It just means that you might have to be a little bit more patient. And I wanted to let you know all about this because I get messages about this all the time. And I just want to reset those expectations that even for us, well, I would say we're pretty good at what we do in recruiting, even for literally anybody that's in this industry, you're going to see things slow down. And that's okay. You just have to continue to put in the effort and time and work required so that when the opportunity comes, you can seize it. And that's really what this is all about. So if you're the parent of a high school athlete and you are looking for help in college recruiting, I'll leave a link in the description. You can schedule a call with us. We'll walk you through what we do and how we help. And otherwise, I will talk to you guys next time.